What up, YouTube? This video is taken on the Saturday afternoon, September 3rd, 2022. Time right now is 5:09 p.m. And for those of you who are in the TLDW group, Too Long Didn't Watch, I do have two questions I'm asking for responses to in the comments. The first one is, what do you think I should call these videos that where I flap over some FPV footage I flew? And the second question is, what is the perfect amount of packs to take with you when you go out flying? Those are my two questions. But yeah, pretty much I'm calling this, right now I'm going to call it Flap and Flew. So that's all I can think of. If you have anything better, just let me know. I just got done flying. I'm down in Tampa on it's Saturdays. The group I usually go soul winning with on Saturdays, I couldn't meet up with them because most of them went to Jacksonville to see the ordination of Pastor Theo Matthews. So I ended up tagging along with the group down in Tampa. Last minute, like this morning, I made a decision to drive down here, and then I figured it would be a good opportunity to drive down here, and after soul winning, which was really receptive today. We had 4 soul winners, and we saw 7 people accept Christ as their Savior today. It was really accepting, and the group said that they've been going a couple of weeks without any salvations. So, but I thought it was a really receptive area. We were in a apartment complex, kind of poor apartment complex. But one thing I noticed about this apartment complex is they all had brand new air conditioners, like not window air conditioners. They had like full size units, and they were all brand new. Goodman. I don't know. I've been watching a lot of Steve Lemire videos, so I've been looking at air conditioning systems recently. But anyway, so then after that, people I went out with, they wanted to go to some Korean tea place. And so I went and I got one of those Korean teas where they mix it up, they seal it, and it has like some kind of fruit in it. And then you puncture it with a big straw, and the straw is big enough to suck up the fruit. And I'm not a coffee drinker, and it didn't taste like, if it was tea, I probably would have liked it. Maybe if I go again, maybe I need to see if they have actually real tea. But I guess it had a coffee taste to it. I don't even really know what coffee tastes like. I mean, it wasn't unbearable, but I only drank like almost half of it. So I probably won't be wasting $5.95 on one of those again. And then, like I said, afterwards, I decided to go flying. And I decided to go to a spot that I saw in a Magic Carpet video, which he doesn't fly anymore, but he was a real good pilot, and he was a really good pilot for the time. For as old as his videos are, he was a real good pilot back then. He used to fly with E-Rod, and back when he flew with E-Rod, he actually had more subscribers than E-Rod, but he doesn't fly anymore. But anyway, I pinpoint, this was months ago, a long time ago, I pinpoint a spot that he was flying at. I had it on the map. So I decided to fly there. And the object had a perfect power loop gap. The main office building had a perfect power loop gap. But the thing is, I didn't go for it because I was by myself, and it would have been unrecoverable. And actually in the Magic Carpet video, he had a guy, it's like a power loop gap on the second floor balcony where they had like an outdoor break area. So if you would have crashed, you would have been up on that balcony. If you had an extension ladder, you could recover it. But because it was unrecoverable and I was by myself, I didn't go for it. But that's something I'll have to do, is I'll have to find a really good collapsible ladder and just keep it with me in the car. And then that way I, would feel comfortable hitting gaps like that. But when I actually started flying today, I wasn't really feeling confident in the 6 to do crazy stuff. So I guess you'll be seeing some of my flying here as I'm flapping away. That's the point of the video. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm styling this video off of a Pat Regan video, which I came across his YouTube channel recently, and I binge watched all of his videos. And he hardly flies FPV anymore, and he doesn't post any videos. But I kind of thought his style of talking over his he talks while driving over his FPV footage. I thought that was a pretty cool style. I ran across his videos because right now my passion project is to create my own drone frame, and I'm going to cut it out myself. That's the plan on the CNC machine I bought. I bought a Jamitsu something 4030, so it's 400 by 300 millimeter working area, and I pretty much bought it just to cut carbon fiber, but I'm going to also look into making epoxy signs with it. But he had a blog post about it, cutting carbon fiber, and I actually emailed him and he responded back, gave me some tips for cutting carbon fiber, and through that I found his videos. Even though he doesn't post that much on his regular channel, he is involved in podcasts. The one podcast is called like Butter What, and the other one's called Invent Create, and those are actually pretty interesting podcasts. If you're into like the Hackaday type stuff, I used to browse Hackaday all the time, but if you're into like stuff that Hackaday would post, those are the kind of podcasts and interviews they do with those type of videos, so definitely check it out. But yeah, so that's my passion project right now, is to make my own drone frame, 5-inch freestyle, and I'm just going to right here come out and say what the name of it is so no one steals it, or if someone steals it I can say that I thought of the name first. The name of the... Oh, I gotta film this. They're hauling, hopefully you can see. Sorry, I had to film that. They're hauling a pontoon boat on like a trailer made for a 14-foot John boat or something. So, squirrel. So, the name of my 5-inch freestyle frame is going to be called Questor, which Questor, just like the Busch Gardens simulator ride. And when I do the video explaining my 5-inch freestyle frame, I'll do a separate video. I'll explain why I chose that name. And I'm not going to really talk about the project at all because I'll just put it in a separate video. But yeah, that's my passion project right now, is to do that. It's pretty interesting because I'm learning new trades and skills that I don't know, which I always like that in a project. And the cool part about it is when you cut your own carbon fiber, it's not like you come up with a design and then that's it, you're stuck with the design. Once I actually start flying it, I can make revisions with the design and change things to try to make it like how I want it. And but pretty much the reason why I started this project is I have yet to find a 5-inch freestyle frame that fits my needs, and I'll elaborate more of that when I actually come out with a video of the frame, if I'm successful with it. Right now I'm working on, I like to fly individual ESCs, so I'm working on designing an PDB that will break out a regular flight controller that isn't supposed to run off individual ESCs. And even though I made PDBs in the past, I'm actually like following tutorials and doing it the right way. So I'm learning a lot more about PDB making, and I'm going in between. I really want it to be a 2-layer board, but it's starting to seem like that if it was a 4-layer board, it would be a better design. But I don't know that for sure, because I don't really know how well traces will work on a PDB as far as how wide I need to make them for the amount of current that ESC draws. So that's why I'm going back and forth. If I do a 4-layer board, I could do ground and power planes, and then I don't have to worry about current draw. But those are all things that I'm like, but that's right now, if you're wondering what I'm up to, that's what I'm up to. I'm focusing on making a PDB. That's the one part of the project that if I have different revisions, it'll be kind of a pain in the butt because I'm sending it off to a PCB house, China. I'm probably going to do JLC PCB because I've done them in the past. I'll definitely check PCBWay to see if they have different prices or if they would be better. But when I flew today, like I said, I wasn't really feeling it in the sticks. The first pack was horrible. I hit Spanish moss that, took me right down out of the sky. Or I like to call it, it looks like Stacy's beard. That's what I call it, Spanish moss. And then I was flying around these oaks, and I got my quad stuck up on a tree, and I got it caught on an oak tree, but I didn't get caught on oak branches. I got it caught in like this vine thing that was growing around the branch of the oak tree. And, thank the Lord, my painter stick, which I don't know if you see, this is one of those Mr. Long Arms, and I have a 3D printed hook on the end. Me with this pole fully extended in my hand, it was just tall enough to get it out, to touch it. I do have a 10-foot conduit and a 3D printed adapter, clamp adapter on the end of it that I can add to this, but I don't take that with me. And off the top of my head, I forget how long this is. I'll put it up on the video. But that and my arm spring, I was able to get it out of the tree. But after that first pack, I guess I was kind of warmed up. I still wasn't feeling really like doing some really intense tricks for the whole day for some reason. But I didn't really break anything for the rest of the day. Well, I take that back. I did, somehow I managed to crush my Vista antenna, which I've been going through Vista antennas a lot recently. I guess it's maybe the way having, even though it's completely surrounded by TPU, I guess since it's sticking up, it's like the first thing that the quad hits upside down. So those are like the design decisions I'm going to make on my frame is, am I going to 3D print and put the antenna sticking up like that? The answer to that question for me right now is no. I'm going to kind of tuck it down level with the quad like I did on my Stingy build. On my Stingy build, I made my own TPU mount for the antenna, and it worked pretty good. But yeah, I've been tearing up Vista antennas, but I didn't actually break I didn't compromise the single integrity, even though it kind of crushed the case. So that's what got me in the past is the Vista. Oh yeah, I only run my Vista on 700 milliwatts. I don't do the mod because I don't want to burn it up, and 700 milliwatts is plenty of power for me. And I also use it on the low power mode with the arm switch, so that way if I get it stuck anywhere, it's not blasting 700 milliwatts, it's only blasting 25. But both times when I broke the antenna, I didn't realize I broke the antenna because the DJI system's so robust, but the only thing I would notice is I would lose range. And I would just lose bit rate, I would lose bit rate going farther out. And it was literally not broadcasting on anything because the antenna was broken off. That happened to me twice, where I didn't realize the antenna was broken off till flying a couple of times and being like, I'm losing range. So originally, with this new frame I was going to build, I was going to go ahead and just use the O3 air units. But since there's so much up in the air about the O3 air units, and the fact that I have secured enough Caddx Vistas with the DJI camera in my stockpile, I'm just going to design it with the Vista unit and DJI camera. That's the one thing that's kind of frustrating, is that's what I like to fly. I like to fly the Vista unit with the DJI camera, and now they're not making them anymore. I ordered 2 more from FPV Cycle. They had them in stock. So in my stockpile, in my reserves, I have, I hate to say this, but I have 4. Look, the reason I stocked up so much is my history through this hobby, I've had so much trouble with parts being obsolete. And I'll explain that. That's another reason why I decided to build my own frame, because I can't tell you how many times I broke stuff on my frames and I can't get the parts right then and there. They're back ordered, or you don't even know if the company's going to make the frame anymore. So right now I have stockpiled 4 air units with DJI cameras, and I bought an extra DJI camera. And that is kind of frustrating that we know the Vistas, there's no supply shortage of the Vistas, and RunCam's going to keep on supplying them. But Caddx was supplying the DJI cameras, and once they're gone, they're gone. They said maybe Caddx is going to still supply cameras and not the air units. But the thing about that is, Caddx has come out with their own 120 FPS camera that kind of looks like a DJI camera, but it's a little smaller and only has 1 mount hole. The cameras I like to fly that I think give the best image quality are the DJI cameras with the 2 mount holes. And it appears that Caddx distributes them, and that I don't know if they're going to continue making them. But like I said, I have a stock.
On road ahead.
No, I know where I'm going, so I'll turn off navigation. So, like I said, I have a stockpile to keep me going, and my current GRL setup, the biggest thing I don't like about the GRL setup, oh yeah, by the way, both of my quads, I have them tuned perfectly now. They fly great. They fly perfect. They're tremendous. They're the best quads you'll ever fly. But anyway, the thing I don't like about the GRL frame is that it's not really made for individual ESCs. I made it work, but it's a little sloppy, and I want my setup to not be sloppy. And second of all, is I've snapped so many GRL arms because the arms are hollow. Other than that, the thing's built like a tank. The main body is like built like a tank. I haven't broken anything on it. It's just the arms. I did almost think about designing my own arms and just 3D printing my own arms and seeing how it works. But still, if I did that, it would still be it's really cluttered how I have them wired up. So that's why I'm just going to go ahead and start from my own frame from scratch. So yeah, so after that, after that pack and I got the quad out of the tree, you know, I didn't break anything all day except, like I said, that antenna. And then I went to another place that I didn't have marked on the map, but it was just close to it. And I flew there. And the second place, when I pulled up on it, I thought for sure that there was a security guard probably inside and I'd get kicked out. But I didn't get kicked out. And that's how it goes. When you think you're going to get kicked out, you won't get kicked out. When you think you're not going to get kicked out, you will get kicked out. But I brought 14 packs with me. So I have 16 packs altogether right now. I flew 2 yesterday at my house to test the quads, make sure they were working fine. And I brought 14 with me today. And I only flew 10. So in the future, I'm only going to bring 10 packs with me. That's going to be my answer to the question. 10 packs seems like the perfect amount of packs to bring out with you flying. And I purposely, usually I fly my bad or older batteries first and then fly my good batteries. Today I flew my good batteries first because I get battery anxiety with them being at full charge, and I left my oldest batteries not flying. I might meet up. It seems like the weather is going to hold off. We've been getting a ton of rain, and I'm about to get flooded out at my house. Every evening it's been raining. It was supposed to rain this evening, but it looks like the weather held off. I guess, from what I hear, they didn't make that rocket launch. I wanted today to go out on my lake and film the rocket launch out from the lake, but I gave up on that today when I figured out, when I looked around and saw it was so cloudy that there's no way I would have saw it. But this one text group I'm on, my buddy Tice, which you've seen in the videos in the past, he has a sailboat. They were talking about him going there to film it and film people on the bridge. But if I read the text correct, he made a joke about, oh, they canceled it because I didn't show up, or he didn't show up there to Titusville. So I think they canceled it today. But yeah, that's one thing that I haven't done yet is watch the rocket launch out from the lake. But yeah, we've been getting so much rain. Yesterday it was 101 degrees, so it was hot yesterday. It downpoured in the evening, and it's probably going to downpour this evening. And I know they have a drought up there. I watched Post 10 videos, and he shows it all dried up there in New England. And then I watch Old 64 Goat videos, and his brook is all dried up. Well, that's not the case down here. Oh yeah, and I've been watching videos on the Colorado River and Lake Mead, and it's all dried up there. Although this one video I watched of the Colorado River, this couple decided to walk across it since it was so low, but they claim they walked across it by Las Vegas, I think, because they were by a casino. They claim that it was low because they were artificially choking it out for some of these bugs that are taking over. So I don't know if that's the reason why it was low, or if it was because we're in a drought. But we definitely don't have a drought here. It's the water level's the second highest since I moved into the swamp. And it was in the September month that it was the highest ever. September 2020, it was the highest ever. So we'll see if it gets that high. When it was that high, it actually went over my seawall, which I hope it doesn't get that high again. It kind of washes out your seawall when it does that. But that's pretty much all I had to say. That's what I'm up to. I've been getting a lot of traffic on my Sea-Doo video. I haven't ran my Sea-Doo in 2 years, and at this point I'll have to drain the gas out of the gas tank, clean the fuel injectors, pump new fuel up into the fuel rail, which I'm planning on doing a video on. My buddy Tice said that he wouldn't mind coming over and helping me when I do that. So that's going to be a project in the future, but I've been getting a lot of traffic on my Sea-Doo videos. People were asking, do you like the Sea-Doo? In hindsight, I wouldn't have bought a Sea-Doo because they don't have good maintenance. I didn't realize that. I probably would have bought a Kawasaki or a Yamaha. And I definitely wouldn't have bought a supercharger. You really don't need a supercharger in a Sea-Doo. It's just, at the time, that's what I wanted. I was gung-ho that I needed to get a supercharger. And then another thing, I always get questions about animatronics. I haven't been doing animatronic videos because I kind of lost passion for it, and at this point it seems like it would just be work instead of being fun. But I keep on telling myself that eventually, boy, they're running a lot of, it's funny, that I passed 3 cars pulled over by Florida State Troopers, so I kind of toned it down. I'm going 5 under the speed limit now in the right-hand lane, but man, that doesn't stop people. They just fly. But yeah, so I do want to kind of get Pizza Cam. I have a brand new lift actuator for Pizza Cam, and that'll make a good video. The actuator's new, old stock, and from my work, I kind of have a little experience about Tolematics, especially kind of have a story about new, old stock Tolematics. So I thought that would make an interesting video of getting that up and running and installing it on them. But if I do post a Pizza Cam video, that will be the next video installing that lift actuator. But other than that, I've been real busy, between work, church, and my side projects. I'm always busy. I've been trying to not be slothful. like actually be productive with my day, instead of like, sometimes during the week I work night shifts. Sometimes during the week I wake up thinking that I don't have enough sleep, so I end up moping around, tell myself I need to rest some more, and then I end up can't sleeping, and then that whole time ends up being unprofitable. But I am on a diet because part of my theory is that my diet is the reason why I'm kind of slothful. All these carbs and sugar, bad for you. So I am trying to low carb diet, but I've been breaking it. So hopefully after today, like I got a Polar Pop today, but I had to get a Polar Pop to try to get that boba tea out of the taste out of my mouth. But yeah, so that's another thing I'm up to, is I'm trying to drink only water and drink the low carb, no sugar. Kind of keto-ish, but I believe that I'm not having enough fat concentration to constitute going to the keto. And last time I did keto, I had the keto rash, which was horrible. So I kind of don't want to go into keto. But yeah, that's what I'm pretty much up to. I thought I would try out, see what this type of video would be like. Tell me what you think. I did fly with the DJI Action 2 camera, and I decided, I'm playing around with the settings, I decided to ditch 4K and go to 2.7K because it's easier for my computer to handle, even though I'm probably going to render this video as 4K. And I decided, I was doing the cinema color and then doing color grading. I decided to just put it in regular color mode and see how the video comes out. I do agree that the dynamic range is bad. There's a lot of shadows, and I haven't really played with the ISO or the EV settings manually. I put everything in auto because I like keeping stuff in auto. If someone comes out with a guide for the ISO and EV settings, I'll follow those guides. But I'm not about to start messing with all that and you know, doing a flight, changing the settings, doing another flight. Nobody's got time for that. But tell me what you think about the video quality, or if you're experienced with the DJI Action 2, let me know what you think. I really like the DJI Action 2, and it works for my workflow. For what I use it for, it works good with the battery life and the storage life. Having the module ends up working out really great for me. And it seems like any problems with the dynamic range, seems like it could be fixed in software and they push a software update. But that's just my opinion. I'm not a camera expert. But I rambled on long enough. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.